Here's how every NBA GOAT's first game went. First, of course, Michael Jordan. The Bulls brought MJ into Chicago, and you would have thought Tom Thibodeau was already the coach there. The guy played 40 minutes his first game. In those 40 minutes, he had 16 points, 6 boards, 7 assists, 4 blocks, 2 steals, shot 5 for 16 from the field. The dude was kind of bricking. But on top of that, he had 5 turnovers too. So great numbers here, but then some questionable ones here. And he did start the game, and it was versus the Bullets, the team he'd eventually retire on. The Bulls' leading scorer was Orlando Woolridge. The guy had 28 points. But MJ actually got hurt in this game too, fell to the ground with a leg injury, that was on the ground for like 40 seconds. People thought his career was over before it even started. Then Orlando Woolridge found MJ's reboot card, and he was chilling. The Bulls ended up winning 109-93. But next, then we gotta go to LeBron. There has never been hype for someone coming into the NBA like LeBron in 03. The dude had a magazine cover that said Chosen One. The guy was like 14 years old at the time. But LeBron in his first game, he had the Kings, maybe the ugliest game ever, the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Sacramento Kings. And they had this game on national TV. That's how hyped up it was. But LeBron actually had a great debut, 25 points, the most ever for a player coming out of high school making their debut, 6 rebounds, 9 assists, 4 steals, shot 12 for 20 from the field, and he played 43 minutes. So he had Tom Thibodeau on steroids at this time. But the Cavs would lose 106-92, so yeah, that's LeBron's. But let's go to the best player in the league currently, Jokic. Want to know how insignificant Nikola Jokic was looked at when he was drafted? His first NBA game, he played 4 minutes. He had 2 points, and zeros everywhere else on the board, except he did have 1 turnover. Bench this guy. But the guy the Nuggets started at center this night, Joffrey Lavernay. I don't even know if I said that right. That's how much of a random Jokic was looked at the time, that they started this guy over him. So yeah, that's Jokic's first game. But what about Steph Curry's? Curry's actually came against the Rockets too, but unlike Jokic, Curry played 36 minutes in his, dropped 14, 7 of 12 shooting. He had 2 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 steals, went 0 for 1 from 3. Steph Curry only shot 1 3 in 36 minutes. Look at the starting lineup for the Warriors though. Steven Jackson, Andres Bieldrus, Ronnie Turioff, Steph Curry, Monte Ellis. That's got to be the most random group of players in NBA history I'm looking at right now. But the Warriors lost to the Rockets 108-107, and Curry wasn't great in this game, but he would end up becoming so great that he'd have songs named after him. But let's go to a guy that would end up playing for both the Warriors and the Rockets down the road, Kevin Durant. Durant was drafted at number 2, right behind Greg Oden, and he had the Nuggets in his first game. KD played 32 minutes in his first game for the Sonics. In those minutes, he dropped 18 points, 5 boards, 3 steals, 1 assist, but KD did go 7 for 22. Not great. But the Sonics would also end up losing this game 120-103 versus Melo, AI, and Camby. And it was a young Sonics team, so it was basically what was expected. But then we can go back a little to an all-time great, Larry Bird. Bird, like every other player on this list, had his debut versus the Rockets. But this time, the rookie actually took the W. Celtics win 114-106. Bird is okay in his debut, 28 minutes, 14 points, 10 boards, 5 assists, shoots 6 for 12 from the field. Actually a good NBA debut. Shout out to Larry Legend, man. But if we're going to talk about Larry Bird, we got to talk about Magic Johnson. And Magic Johnson's debut was versus the San Diego Clippers. Yeah, that's how far we got to go back. You probably didn't even know this team existed. But Magic actually balled out in his first game. 28 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 4 blocks, shot 10 for 21 from the field, played 41 minutes. Of course, this guy got absolutely blessed and was put on a team with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And when you got Magic and Kareem, and you verse a made up San Diego basketball team, you're gonna win. Lakers win 103-102. But after him, I want to get current again. A guy who wasn't a top pick, Giannis. Giannis's debut actually came at Madison Square Garden versus the Knicks. And clearly, as you can see from these stats, the Bucks had no faith in him. He played 5 minutes, 1 point, zeros everywhere else. But looking at him his rookie season, he looks like a piece of yarn with legs. How did this guy become one of the best players ever? So yeah, like Jokic, Giannis's debut was completely insignificant, and the Bucks lost 90-83 to the Knicks. But next up, let's go Kobe. Kobe, want to hear something absolutely absurd? Kobe didn't even score in his first NBA game. The guy had 0 points. Congrats Kobe, you're our first scoreless guy yet. He did have a rebound, a steal, and a block, but in 6 minutes, Kobe went 0 for 1 from the field. And the thing was, this was the Lakers' second game of the season. He didn't even play in the season opener. You know, the Lakers had to give Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel a combined 77 minutes so they can combine for 24 points. Good coaching. But then if we're talking Kobe, we gotta talk Shaq. And Shaq's debut actually came against his future team, the Miami Heat. Granted, every team is his future team, but Shaq has the weirdest stat line we're gonna see yet. 32 minutes, 12 points, 18 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 5 turnovers, 6 fouls. I don't know if this is the best game ever or the worst. But Nick Anderson actually went for 42 points this game for the Magic. Surely he'll make all his free throws. Anyways, next up, we got the only guy who isn't a legend on this list. But deadass, after his first game, he was like minus 100 million odds to become the GOAT. Michael Carter Williams. This guy got his first game against Wade, James, and Bosh. And what does he do? 36 minutes, 22 points, 7 rebounds, 12 assists, 9 steals, 6 for 10 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3, and beats the defending champs 114-110. But after this game, I bet Sixer fans thought they had the second coming of like Alexander the Great on their team. But that would end up being the best game of Michael Carter Williams' career, and arguably the best debut ever, although we'll get to another crazy one soon. But for now, let's move on. Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk's debut came against the Seattle Supersonics. In Seattle, fire. But this was a great game. Mavs ended up losing in OT, but Dirk, he wasn't that good. 16 minutes, 2 points, 4 boards, 0 for 5 from the field, and he actually started this game too. I know for a fact, if I were a Mavs fan watching that, I would have been sitting there like, we really blew that pick, didn't we? But the starters during Dirk's first game, Finley, AC Green, Dirk, Sean Bradley, Steve Nash, cool team. Just wanted to give a quick shout. But we did just do Dirk. Let's do one of the other best power forwards ever, Kevin Garnett. KG, like Dirk, exactly 16 minutes, but KG actually came off the bench. 8 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 4 for 4 from the field, and this is a kid coming out of high school, so that's a good sign early on in his career. The Wolves ended up losing by 9 to the Kings, but KG's first game, solid. Even though it's the NBA offseason, there's still plenty of action over at PrizePicks. They've got WNBA, MLB, UFC, and a ton of other sports every single day, so there's always something to watch and always a lineup to build. One pick I took is A'ja Wilson to win WNBA Defensive Player of the Year. She's already a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, and if she keeps dominating at that end of the floor, I like her chances to bring home another one. PrizePicks is really easy to use. You can pick more or less on player stats, or if you'd rather pick teams, they've got that now too. Just pick the winner, spread, or total on any game or any fight, lock in your lineup, and you're all set. And make sure to follow me on PrizePicks at 23picks so you can tell my lineups with just one click. If you're a new user, play your first $5 lineup, and if you win, you get $150 in bonus lineups. Just use code HMA when you sign up. That's code HMA on PrizePicks. Thanks again to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's video. But now we got to do Kawhi. Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi's first game actually comes the day after Christmas because of the lockout. But Kawhi, 6 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals. But my guy shot 2 for 9 from the field. Brutal, Kawhi. Brutal. But the Spurs ended up winning by 7 versus the Grit and Grind Grizzlies. So, all good. But I do want to say something real quick. Let's play a game. This is the song I'm listening to right now. If you ever heard it, you gotta subscribe. If you never heard it, you gotta subscribe. Thanks. But for real, if you could subscribe, I would genuinely appreciate it. It's the only thing that truly tells me you guys want me to go all in on this channel. Thank you so much. Anyways, next player, Tim Duncan. Duncan, he has one of the best debuts we've seen in a minute on this list. We had a stretch of really bad ones for a while, but Duncan's came versus the Denver Nuggets. In 35 minutes, 15 points, 10 boards, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 6 for 9 from the field, but he did have 4 turnovers. But Duncan, he has one of the best rookie seasons ever, and this debut was a clear sign for what's about to come. Spurs won 107-96, and then they won like every single game since then too. But next up, let's go James Harden. Oklahoma City Thunder James Harden. Still feels like a fake player. But Harden, he only got 13 minutes in his first game. In those 13 minutes, he had 5 points, went 2 for 2 from the field, but he had 2 boards and zeros across the rest of the board. Remember, the Thunder had this guy coming off the bench because they had KD and Russ too, and they never won a ring with all 3. But Harden's debut came against the Kings, and the Thunder won 109-89. Shout out to OKC Thunder legend, James Harden. But let's stay in OKC actually, Russell Westbrook. Actually, this is the Thunder's first game as the Oklahoma City Thunder, formerly the Seattle Supersonics. They got their first game against the Milwaukee Bucks, the battle of Ray Allen employers. But Russ had a pretty solid game in his debut. 22 minutes, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, a block, went 4 for 9 from the field, 1 for 2 from deep. Honestly, if you're a Westbrook hater, you're a weirdo. Sorry to break the news to you. Top 5 point guard of all time, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Legend though. But next up, let's go to a guy a lot of people call the 3rd best player ever, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And this easily gotta be a top 5 debut ever. Bucks Pistons, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar plays 48 freaking minutes. Literally doesn't even sniff the bench. I guess that's what happens when you're the best college basketball player ever though. But in those 48 minutes, Kareem, 29 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 12 for 27 from the field. You know how respected you gotta be to take 27 shots in your first NBA game? And blocks and steals weren't even counted at the time, so we don't even know what he got there. Plus, his name was Lou Alcindor at the time. He wasn't even Kareem yet, so yeah, easily one of the best debuts ever. But let's stay on the all-time great big man train, from Kareem to Hakeem. Hakeem, the first overall pick, picked over Sam Bowie. I don't know why the Rockets didn't take Sam Bowie. They could have had the GOAT. But Hakeem was still solid too. His NBA debut at Dallas, 28 minutes, 24 points, 9 rebounds, an assist, a block, 11 for 18 from the field. A really good debut from a really good player. Rockets win 121-111. But let's get a little more recent again, and this time, Chris Paul. Chris Paul just had, I don't know, a weird first game for Chris Paul. He played 34 minutes. In those 34 minutes, he had 13, 8, and 4. If I told you to guess what the 8 and 4 were, what would you guess? Because it's probably minus a billion odds that it's 8 assists. But actually, CP3 got 8 boards in his first game. And on top of that, he had 2 steals and a block. Who the hell is this dude? And the Hornets won 93-67 against the Kings in this game. Chris Paul went plus 23. I don't know. This game feels like an SNL skit. But after him, let's go to his friend, Dwyane Wade. This guy right here. D-Wade, 3 picks after Darko Milicic, starts for the Miami Heat in his first game. In this game, 41 minutes, 18 points, 8 for 18 from the field. But then he has 4 assists and 5 turnovers. but he ended up having an elite rookie season and career, so it worked out. But honestly, shout out to Udonis Haslem, because in this game, the guy played 26 minutes. He finished with 2 points, 8 boards, and 4 fouls. The most Udonis Haslem game in the history of Udonis Haslem games. But let's move on from Wade, and actually, we'll go to Allen Iverson. I feel like AI gotta be one of the most likable basketball players ever. How could you not like watching a 4'7" dude cook everyone? And his career started just like that. 37 minutes, 30 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists. But like Kareem, 12 for 29 from the field. That was the 3rd highest scoring output by a rookie guard ever in their debut at that point. But the Sixers did lose to the Bucks, 111-103. But AI, for his whole career, the Sixers never helped this dude by getting him teammates. This year, his starting lineup, Clarence Weatherspoon, Michael Cage, Derek Coleman, and Jerry Stackhouse. Quick challenge. Name 5 Clarence Weatherspoon songs right now. Thought so. Anyways, Steve Nash. Steve Nash had a Tony Snell game in his debut. 5 minutes, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Went 0 for 1 from the field. So yeah, don't give up, kids. This guy went on to win back-to-back MVPs. But if we're talking Nash, we gotta talk Jason Kidd. I don't know why, I feel like they just go hand in hand. Does anyone else just automatically pair them together? But Kidd's debut was a lot better than Nash's. Nets Mavs, Jason Kidd plays 35 minutes, 10 points, 9 boards, 11 assists. The most Jason Kidd game of all time. But he did go 3 for 10 from the field, which is unlike Jason Kidd. And the Mavericks won 112-103. So this game was a Jason Kidd preview of exactly what Jason Kidd became, but at the time, exactly what Jason Kidd was not. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyways, let's get older for the next one. Karl Malone versus the Houston Rockets. Jazz ended up losing this game by 4, and Malone, the most rookie debut ever. 24 minutes, 8 points, 6 rebounds, 4 steals though, but then he goes 4 for 11 from the field. But he did have to play Hakeem and Ralph Sampson in his first game, so that doesn't really help. But the Jazz had Karl Malone and John Stockton coming off the bench in this game, and they had Kyrie Scurry, Steph Curry's alter ego. But while we're at it, we may as well go back 1 year to John Stockton's first game, Utah Jazz vs Seattle Supersonics. Stockton, 4 points, 6 assists, 2 steals. This was in 17 minutes. And Stockton only took 2 shots and made 1 of them. But the Jazz, they would lose this game by 8, 94-102. But after him, I want to get current again, Anthony Davis. AD had some of the most hype from a college player ever. Remember the stat where AD had more blocks than like every other team? That was what he was expected to do in the NBA also. But AD, the 19-year-old, got blessed and got Tim Duncan in his first game. Just what a 19-year-old wants. But he did play really good. 21 points, 7 boards, a block, a steal, 6 for 12 from the field. But the Spurs beat the Hornets by 4. These are the New Orleans Hornets, by the way, though. The current day Pelicans. Pelican fans, if any of you exist, let me know what you thought of AD during his rookie season, because I thought this dude was going to be the GOAT. Anyways, let's move on. Now, we got the actual best debut in NBA history, no debate. And for it, we got to go back to 1959. Socrates just passed away, and Wilt Chamberlain is here to make his NBA debut. Philadelphia Warriors versus New York Knicks. And in this game, Wilt plays every second, 48 minutes. He drops 43 points, grabs 28 rebounds, 1 assist, goes 17 for 27 from the field, and the Warriors win 118-109. I would say average Wilt game as a joke, but it literally is an average Wilt game. But I do want to say something real quick. I made a video where I interviewed someone who played in Wilt's 100-point game to find out if it actually happened, you know? So just please subscribe if you want to see it. Thank you. I know I keep saying I'm gonna drop it. I'm just waiting for this channel to start to perform decently again before I post it so it doesn't completely flop. Thanks. Anyways, let's stay in the time zone. Bill Russell. For Russell's first game, we got to go back even further. 1956, Boston Celtics versus St. Louis Hawks. And Bill Russell in this game, 21 minutes, 6 points, 16 boards, 1 assist, 3 for 11 from the field. Celtics win the game 95-93. Crazy how many boards Wilt and Russell used to grab. But after him, let's go back to another big man, but this time a modern day big man, Dwight Howard. Dwight was another high school kid coming in. He got the Milwaukee Bucks, and this game was actually insane. The Magic won 93-92, with Steve Francis taking over at the end. But Dwight in this game, 38 minutes, 12 points, 10 boards, 2 assists, 3 steals, 4 blocks. He went 6 for 11 from the field, and 0 for 6 from the free throw line. It started early. But a double-double in your first NBA game with 7 stocks? Elite. Shout out Dwight. But after him, we'll move to Charles Barkley. Barkley had an interesting debut. Got matched up with the Cleveland Cavaliers in 1984. Name a 1984 Cav. Me neither. But in Barkley's debut, he went for 11, 6, 3, 1, and 1. Shot 3 for 6 from the field, but he did have 5 turnovers, but the Sixers won 111-101. And right away, Barkley made a pretty big impact. I still don't understand how he's able to rebound and move the way he did. Anyways, Luka Doncic. Once upon a time, Luka Doncic played for the Mavericks. In his debut, he had a matchup with the Phoenix Suns, the team that passed on him in the draft. A good move. Dallas lost 121-100 to the Suns. Luka, he looked kinda ass in his first game. In 32 minutes, he had 10 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 5 for 16 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3, and 0 for 2 from the line. I just know that Mavs fans thought they took Darko Milicic part 2 when this game happened. But speaking of Darko, let's move to Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo, in his first game, he had Duncan in the Spurs. In 29 minutes, Melo had 12 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and he might have the worst shooting performance yet, 4 for 15 from the field, and 0 for 1 from 3. Now I know after this one, Nuggets fans wish they took Darko instead of Melo, but Denver actually did win this game, 80-72, so good start for Melo. But after him, let's go to Damian Lillard. In Lillard's first game, he got matched up with Kobe, and Dame actually went crazy. 35 minutes, 23 points, 11 assists, 3 rebounds. Joined Oscar Robertson and Allen Iverson as the only players in NBA history with at least 20 points and 10 assists in their debut. And the Blazers won 116-106. So yeah, Damian Lillard became the best Blazer ever after one game. But then we can move to Kyrie. Kyrie's debut was the complete opposite. Trash. 6 points, 7 assists. I already hear you. Shut up. But then he had 3 rebounds, which definitely didn't make up for his 2 for 12 shooting and 1 for 5 from 3. And this was in 26 minutes too, by the way. LeBron leaves the city and they get blessed with their rookie going 2 for 12 and losing 104-96 to the Raptors. Poor Cavs fans. But then let's go back a little. Scottie Pippen. It's always crazy to me that Pippen was drafted by the Supersonics. How do you trade him? But they did, and in his first Bulls game, he had the Sixers. In 23 minutes, he had 10 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists, 2 steals. He went 4 for 7 from the field. But MJ dropped 36 this game. So what did Pippen actually have to do? Just pass the ball to Jordan, basically. But then I want to go to SGA. SGA's first game with the Clippers. I have an idea. Let's trade him. But in his first game, he got the Nuggets. In 28 minutes, he had 11 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, a block, 5 or 6 from the field, and only 1 free throw attempt. I got you, SGA fans, don't worry. But yeah, Clippers, make sure you trade this guy and attach 100 picks when you do it. Trust me. But after him, we'll go to one of the other best point guards ever, Isiah Thomas. Isiah Thomas is one of the best debuts ever by far. 1981, Pistons, Bucks. Isiah Thomas, 41 minutes, 31 points, 11 assists, 3 rebounds, a steal, a block, 10 for 19 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3. Bucks, how do you let this 6'1" rookie come in and do this? But looking at the Bucks roster from this game, I know that ain't who I think it is. Damn. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this, I would genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. It's really the only thing that does tell me you guys want me to go all in on this channel. Thank you guys for watching.